Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again. Not even sure what I'm calling this one. This was just kind of like something that I did not plan on doing, but there was not a whole lot of albums came out this week, and so I didn't have a whole lot of new listening as far as new releases go. And I know I tend to do a lot of these overlooked gems and stuff like that, and I've done a few of those, and I thought about doing that something along those lines just to keep things flowing. And I don't know why, I'm not on Facebook very often, but I was scrolling through just the news feed. And I have Rock Candy magazine is actually one of the things I have in my news feed, and they had a list of like a top 10 albums of something from 1989. I don't know why 89 was the year that they chose, but there's several albums. They've done this a few times. And the one that was the number one for whatever day I was looking at it was a couple days ago, was Badlands. And I'm like, wow, yeah, that was an awesome album. That's Ray Gillen is one of my favorite all-time singers. I know he's got, I didn't know this at the time, but there's some stuff in his past that, was not good, and I'll get in that just a little bit here. I won't get into it too much, but anyway, he was one of my favorite singers. The guy's voice, was, in my mind at that point in time, everything I would hoped I could sing like, but there's no way in the world I was ever going to sing like that. And if I was to have somebody in my band, that would be like the guy. And then he passed away a few years later, and when he passed away, I wrote a song for the band I was in at that time, my band Brandy Lies. We have a song on our CD called Hard Rain, and that was totally written instantly when I found out about him passing away. I wrote that song, and it's actually one of our most requested songs we ever had when we played. So the guy had a big impact on me. And of course, Jakey Lee was right when I got into Ozzy Osbourne. I had heard obviously the stuff with Randy Rhoads, but by the time I was actually getting into playing and really getting into music, Jakey Lee had taken over. Randy had already passed, and the first Ozzy album I ever got was Bark at the Moon, and I listened to that album nonstop. And Ultimate Sin, although the recording of Ultimate Sin is terrible, I somehow listened past that, and I just love Jake playing on that album. There was that live concert that they came out with. I remember when the live concert came out with on MTV or Much Music, one of the two. Me and my best friend there, we sat down for the premiere, had all the lights off, and had the freaking stereo cranked up, and I had the TV going through the stereo, and we just watched that album. And I did the solo. And I'm not too into guitar solos when it comes to live concerts. I think they're not all that great, but the one that he did in that video was amazing. And so when I found out this album Badlands was coming out, didn't even know what it sounded like, and it was nothing like Ozzy, obviously, but I was there. I was all in. I haven't mentioned the other two members in the band. Eric Singer, who is the current drummer for Kiss, actually was in Black Sabbath with Ray Gillen when they were recording the Eternal Idol, which if you ever had the chance to get the bootleg with Ray Gillen singing that's a cool addition to have too. It's kind of funny because Tony Martin came in and sang almost exactly line for line what Ray had already done. And obviously Ray's done a couple other little things. There's that Red Sun project and some Ron Donnelly stuff. He sang all the stuff on the one of the Phenomena CDs, which are kind of cool Mel Galley projects, I guess is what they're better known as. Glenn Hughes sang on the very first one. That's an amazing one too. But anyway, getting back to Badlands, and Greg Chasin on bass, who actually had auditioned for Ozzy, and I heard an interview with him talking about that, and he thinks the only reason he didn't get the job because he wasn't as good looking as Phil. So it's kind of funny, but killer bass player. I actually was in a band that tried to play Dreams in the Dark and High Wire, and man, those songs are not easy to play. I mean, you got to have the right feel for those songs, and you just got to have it. Either you have it or you don't. Those were tough to play, but anybody who hasn't heard this album, there's a lot of legal stuff in the back that people may not know about that centers around Ray, because he passed away due to complications with AIDS. Apparently he knew he had that and didn't let people know. That's all I'm going to say about that. So there's lawsuits preventing anything from happening with further releases of Badlands albums, which is like horrible for fans of the band, because these are some of the, this one in particular I think is the best one, but Voodoo Highway was amazing. The song Last Time is one of, it might be my favorite actual Badlands songs, but it's not on the first one. But this song, or this album, is not lacking for songs at all. Just that bluesy guitar playing, but heavy at the same time. The singing, Ray is like I already said, is one of the best singers I think that's ever like lived. And there's some weird stuff that went on with Paul O'Neill, which he like helped write and produce. Which he's, in case nobody knows who he is, he's actually passed away as well. Man, a lot of these guys are passed away. He had to, he's the one that's kind of like started the whole Trans-Siberian Orchestra thing, and wrote all the stories. And back to Savatage days, he wrote all like not all, but a lot of the lyrics and storylines, like Streets and all those Gutter Ballet and all that stuff. So he's like huge into that stuff. And I don't really know much about how else he's produced, but he was heavily involved in this too. So, and actually not the point I was trying to make, but there was something weird with the like he knew about what was going on with Ray, and he threatened to tell the record company, and if they and of course they went on and they fired him for whatever reason, and he was going to tell the record company about Ray if they fired him, and he did, and that's why the tour lost all promotion, and the second CD had none, and the third one they obviously did it without Ray, and like that one, like good luck finding that one anywhere, but they got a different singer for that one. But anyway, a whole lot of drama going on, way back. So, but if you have a chance to get it on vinyl or cassette even, or whatever, any way you can get this album, it's so worth getting. Like I was just talking about High Wire, the kickoff song is just, I couldn't think of a better opening track. Dreams in the Dark was a cool song, although it's not my favorite song on the album. It was like, I think, the first single. And Winter's Call was also one of the other singers, and that, I think Winter's Call is like probably one of the top songs on this one as well. There's not a bad song on this one, don't get me wrong, there is not a bad one. And just highlights Rumblin' Train. That one just has a groove like unmatched like by any other band. I know they fell into like the hair metal categories, but these guys were not hair metal at all. They were like hard, heavy blues rock with the talents that you did not hear in any of these other bands, and just really raw guitar. And there's not a whole lot of other stuff going on in the background that and production wise that took away from that raw feeling. I was lucky enough that I bought the cassette with the bonus song on it, Ball and Chain, which I think is probably also like, you got to have that song as well. You can't have that. Unfortunately, the vinyl didn't have that. So if you can find that, whatever, you got to get that song. Forgot to mention Seasons. Seasons is a great song too. Anyway, sorry guys, I had to do a little bit of creative editing at the end here because I didn't really make it clear, I don't think, earlier on that they're not allowed, the band, the agreement legally is they were not allowed to have any re-releases of this due to all the legal stuff around Ray. And as far as I know, there aren't any other re-releases of this out there, so anything that was done, original pressings and all the other releases before all that is all that's out there. I know there was some other labels that said they had the rights to do it, and they started producing CDs. It's kind of what I had heard. I've never seen any of them out there, and I don't remember what the label was that did it. And I can't even imagine what the masters would have been if they're original, if they were just taken from, the other CD copies. I really don't know. But so yeah. Anyway, you're probably never going to see this re-released, from what I understand. If anybody has any other information about that I don't, so yeah, feel free to let us know down below so we all know where to get this or what to be looking for. But as far as I know, you're never going to see this re-released, which is a shame. Any of them re-released because of all that, which is a shame because these are just amazing CDs. This one probably being the best one. And as far as Rock Candy saying it's the best one of '89, it'd be hard to argue against it. I know there's a lot of great music came out that year. If there's somebody out there that has a different opinion and thinks there's a better album of '89, always feel free to let us know down below. And if you got anything else you want to add in about this band, any great stories, I always want to hear them. So feel free to comment down below, like, subscribe, and share, and all that fun stuff. And talk to you guys later. See you.